When we got Black Diamond going 21 years ago, the goal and the aspiration were to build a true built-to-last company, a company that could continue to make a difference long into the future. It wasn't just about those of us who were starting, it was about the community of users who we were attempting to make great and innovative gear for and to make a difference for. We used to compete against the small entrepreneurial garage shop kind of companies. That's what we were at one point in time. But when I walked the last trade shows in Munich, the ISPO show, and last outdoor retailer trade show, I looked at who our competition was, and most of these companies, they're well known. They're Salomon, they're Atomic, they're K2, they are the North Face, the Mountain Hardwear. These are all companies that are portfolio brands within publicly traded companies that have much greater access to capital than we do. So if we're going to continue to build a great built-to-last global company, we needed the same competitive advantage that they had, access to greater capital to continue to do the kind of cool things that we've done, whether it was revolutionize the free-ride ski boot business, put into place a true global supply chain with a global distribution center that minimizes our carbon footprint, getting further into the ski business. All the things that we do just needed more capital. We're doing what is a quintessentially Black Diamond approach to doing things, an innovative approach to going public. So it's a little bit like one of those sci-fi alien movies where the aliens invade the body, and then one day the body disappears and the alien's there. Well, Black Diamond invades the publicly traded shell, and the shell disappears, and voila, it's Black Diamond and we're publicly traded. The first thing we're doing is acquiring onto this platform Gregory Mountain Products of Sacramento, California, an iconic brand that's been around since the 1970s. I've owned Gregory packs most of my life for my backpacking and mountaineering. A wonderful company, and there's all sorts of synergies that we can achieve by bringing these two companies together. From the consumer standpoint, though, Gregory will remain a very discreet and uniquely positioned brand. It will be Gregory. Wonderful brand, wonderful company, and BD will continue to be Black Diamond. And it's great for me to split up my job, which has been chairman, president, CEO, founder, to, hey, I'm CEO, president, and I get to deal with that, and I have partners who are running the board and dealing with Wall Street more than I will.
Does this change the way the company works now that you have to answer to shareholders?
From the very beginning, it was never about me. It was about the sport, about our employees who all were invited to be shareholders, just like me. We built this company the old-fashioned way, on passion, hard work, innovative ideas, and retained earnings. For our first 21 years, employees, customers, and shareholders were one and the same. And now, and at the time we did this transaction, we had 100 and something shareholders. So now that we do this transaction, we'll have hopefully 1,000 and something shareholders. But moving forward, I hope that many of the people who invest in the company will be passionate climbers and skiers and mountaineers, outdoor enthusiasts, and people who share the same passion that we have for the wild places that inspire us, so they will be behind the company's mission, which will continue to be, besides designing, manufacturing, and bringing to market truly innovative, robust gear, but it will also be to be behind one of our founding tenets, which is to champion the access to and preservation of mountain, canyon, crag environments while working to minimize our own environmental footprint. And that's a big part of who we are. And not only are we not walking from that, as we continue to grow, that platform will only get bigger and be more fundamental to who and what we are.
Going forward for Black Diamond, might we see some more, maybe even, price point or more general audience products?
Yeah, it's a great question. And let me begin by saying one of the not only founding tenets, but a tenet that we live by here is that we are committed to the sport. We began at ground zero, or if you can imagine our marketplace as a series of concentric circles moving out from a bullseye. Imagine that bullseye. We began in that bullseye. And over 21 years, there's no question, we have grown our business out several concentric circles. But as we've done that, it's always been on a foundation of concrete and rebarb steel so that it is strong. And what we say is we will never grow out from the core if there's a cancer in the core, if there's a chink in the core. We want to lead and dominate the core categories. That's where our DNA resides, that's where our heart is at, and it is a profitable place to be. So that is foundational to who we are. Are we going to continue to grow out? Well, since we've started the business, we have grown out. I mean, when we started the business, we did not have more price point harnesses. We did not have mountaineering ice axes. We did not have mountaineering crampons. A lot of climbing products we didn't make because we said we began right in the core for the most technical, advanced climber. And as time moved on, we thought, you know, we're about all of the sports. I mean, we're not about one part of climbing or one part of mountaineering or one part of off-piste skiing. We embrace all of it with a passion, and people within Black Diamond do all those activities and use all the tools we make. Our sensibilities of great Bauhaus design, robust products, innovative approaches to product, unique design solutions, and yeah, we're gonna move them to other categories that are categories that our core customers need, but also broader demographics that people need. And if that includes people just learning to climb in a climbing gym, well, bring them on. We want beginners to want to embrace Black Diamond. And I think that's the magic of the Black Diamond brand. It is positioned and perceived to be a Lexus. And we have wonderful product there. That's who and what we're about. But we have product right down there with the most competitive Toyota Corolla imaginable. And that's what people love, is that is the best value product in its class. And we are accessible to anyone who's at the lower end of middle in all our ranges. When I told people years ago we were going to go from 25 to 50 million, they looked at me like I was from frickin' Mars. Like, how are we going to do that? And we don't want to be a big corporation, and God, you know, what are we going to have to do to get there? And we're going to lose our soul. And when we were $50 million and another 50 people, we were a far cooler, hipper place than we were when we were 25. And we got to, this year we'll break 100, and the place is cooler and hipper today than it was 5 years back. So I think people realize that you don't lose coolness, a great culture, because of size. Small businesses can be crappy places to work. Big businesses can be crappy places to work. But one is not a given to the other. They're discrete and independent of one another.